Hi there, I'm Hanka and welcome to the vlog from our holiday in Krkonoše, where my boyfriend and I went at the end of August. We always go on our summer vacation at the end of August or at the beginning of September because it's usually cheaper and there are fewer people everywhere. This time we set off on Monday morning-ish around 10 a.m. It was quite a long journey for us, more than 2 hours by car, and as usual I planned a trip before heading to our hotel. This time we stopped at Janské Lázně to see Treetop Walk. We had been there once before, about 4 years ago, but I wanted to go there again because I like these kinds of attractions. We have also been to Treetop Walk in Šumava and Skywalk in Dolní Morava, and I must say that the walk in Janské Lázně is the best of them. You will learn a lot of interesting facts about nature during the walk. There are these places where you walk only on small boards or on the net and so on. And there is also an underground room with a display of the cycle of soil. It was engaging and fascinating to learn about animals living in the ground, water or nutrients. When you leave this place, you climb up the walk and there you can find these little notices with questions and they live on the journey up. What was not so pleasant this time was the weather. It was quite cold, which would be okay because we had our jackets, but the wind was so strong that even the mobile stabilizer couldn't stabilize the videos properly. Just listen. On the other hand, there were absolutely no people on the top when we got there and we could enjoy it by ourselves. After that, we got in the car and drove to our hotel in Špindlerův Mlýn called Pinia Hotel and Resort. It is located at the edge of the town in a very quiet, nice place. Our room seemed quite small at first, but it turned out to be big enough. There was a bathroom, bed, armchair/sofa, TV, chair and desk. And we also had a balcony there, which we didn't use at all during our stay because of the weather, but it is good to have this option. When we arrived, we unpacked our bags and took a walk around the hotel. Our second day and also all the days after that started with a delicious breakfast. If I love something about holidays, it's definitely the hotel breakfast. You can choose whatever you want and how much you want, and it's my favorite part of the day always. But back to our vacation. After breakfast, we went to the reception to ask about ježčí putování. It was a track with tasks or questions prepared by the hotel for children. I saw it on Instagram and wanted to try it even though I'm not a child. We got a bag with a map, crayons, some snacks and souvenirs. There are notices with questions on the trees on the track. You have to choose the right option and write the number of it to your handout which you get. After that you solve the math problem there in the handout, which is very easy, and you get a code to the lock on a stash located in a hotel lobby. When you answer the questions and solve the math problems correctly, the stage opens and you can take a reward. Unfortunately, I wasn't correct apparently, and I didn't get any reward. But we enjoyed the walk around Špindlerův Mlýn anyway. The next day, we decided to go to Medvědín. My sister-in-law recommended it, so we wanted to try. We set off from our hotel and walked around Elbe Dam. It was a nice, about 4 kilometers long walk to the foot of Medvědín. Unfortunately, we arrived at the wrong time and had to wait about 45 minutes for the chairlift because it goes up only at specific times. And it was, I would say, very expensive fun, given the fact that when you get up, there is nothing to do. There is only the big name Medvědín, the big letters, which is a popular place for photographs, and there is also a playground for children, but nothing else, nothing to do there. Therefore, we were very disappointed and even quite angry that we paid so much money for nothing. But what was done, and we started our journey down. We decided to go on foot to enjoy the nature, and it was beautiful. On the 4th day of our holiday, the weather forecast said that the sun should have been shining. Well, not so much. But shortly after this shower, a miracle happened and we saw the sun for the first time during 4 days. So we decided to take advantage of it and rent scooters. There is a rental shop called Yellow Point in the center of Špindlerův Mlýn where you can rent a scooter and they take you by car to Špindlerova chata, and from there you ride the scooter down. It is a very nice journey on the road, and I really enjoyed it despite the cold weather on the top of the hill. It was much better than the first trail in Klinovec last year, to be honest. The next day we decided we need some time to relax, but we didn't want to spend all day in our room. So we drove to Vrchlabí, which is about 25 minutes from the hotel. We walked around the square and explored the castle park nearby. We were hungry after that, or I was, to be honest, and we couldn't find a place that we would like at first. But by happy coincidence, my boyfriend turned to a small alley and we found Sedm štítů, a cafe/restaurant in a cozy cottage. I had a tortilla, my boyfriend ordered crepes, and we also had pancakes and ice cream, quite a lot of things. And it is a fantastic place with delicious food. And when we are talking about food, I must recommend one more restaurant in Vrchlabí, and it's Farma. I have never had a better meal, I swear. I can't even describe how delicious it was. So Sedm štítů and Farma in Vrchlabí are definitely worth visiting. I wanted this holiday to be more relaxing than last year, and I ordered myself no work, or just a little. So when we arrived from any trip, we watched a movie or I read a book. It was so good for my mind and mental health. I was reading a sci-fi book by a Czech author Radek Starý, or Sterak Dary, he's also a streamer, and it is the second part of the series and I couldn't stop reading really. It is so intense and well written that I couldn't stop reading. If you like sci-fi, check out the first part called Odkaz lidské mysli and then the second part Odkaz lidské rasy. It's definitely worth reading. On Saturday, the weather was great. Sunny, no rain or wind, so we went to Benecko and rented electric bikes there because my brother and his wife recommended going by bike to Lapská Bouda, so we wanted to try it. Well, we didn't get there and I explained why right away. I found a track in the map app, so I was like our guide on the journey. However, I am horrible at directions, which turned out to be our problem. Because when my boyfriend asked me which way to go at the beginning of our journey, I said this way, the main road out of town. But it should have been the road to the right. So we started going in the wrong direction at the very first place. But we found out that after a while at the crossroads where we stopped to check which way to go next. So we had to get back and make a detour back to the track I found. So it was a couple of kilometers more than we expected. And the other thing was that I hadn't checked what the track looked like before we set off. So we ended up in a forest going insanely steep hill down. I don't have any videos from it because I focused only on surviving, really. I eventually had to walk instead of riding a bike because there were rocks everywhere and I was really afraid I would fall and it was horrible. The other thing was also that we are not used to riding a bike, so our butts hurt so much that in Horní Mísečky I said that's enough, I can't go any longer, I have to turn back. So we turned back, which was only a few kilometers from Lapská Bouda, but I couldn't take it anymore. The funny thing is that when we were going back to Benecko, we didn't want to go the same way through the forest and up the steep hill, so we found another way and we ended up at the crossroads where we turned back at the beginning of our journey. You can imagine how furious I was. And the way there was absolutely amazing. It was a road and it was flat, no steep hills. So my direction skills ruled again. But one positive thing on the journey was our stop at Krkonošský limobar. I love local businesses and interesting ideas, and this was one of them. There are bottles of sodas and non-alcoholic beer in the water. You take what you want and give money to the money box, or you can pay via QR code. There is also a freezer with ice cream. It's a great place to stop on a hike or bike trip to refresh yourself. I loved it. Because we didn't make it to Lapská Bouda on Saturday and we wanted to see Panchavský vodopád, which is on the track there, we decided to go there by car and bus on our last day. Because you can go by car only to Horní Mísečky, it is the furthest place you can go by car. Then it is forbidden to go by car any longer. So we took a bus up and walked through nature to Panchavský waterfall or Panchavský vodopád, which was beautiful. But I was surprised that only a small part of it can be seen, only really a small part. It was still worth seeing though. However, the most breathtaking thing was the view. I think I have never seen more astonishing landscape. Just see for yourself. Then we continued to Lapská Bouda and Elf Spring, and then we went home. But we had one more place to stop at on our way home. We lost our dog about 2 months ago, and you can imagine that it was devastating. We were really sad and we were looking for another one for a month and we couldn't find any. But during our holiday, I found a puppy which we could pick up on the way back. So meet Misha, a surprising souvenir we got from our vacation. And that's all from our holiday this year. I recharged my batteries and enjoyed the slow, peaceful time. I hope you enjoyed the video too. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.